This is Bob. For those of you that know him, you'll remember his extraordinary journey so far. For those that don't, let's recap. Bob has a dream to become one of the richest humans in Azeroth, but with one catch. He's strictly limited to only 19 bag slots, no void storage, no guild banks, just what he can carry. Last time, Bob completed the Triple Threat Challenge, securing 3 valuable pets and rocketing his gold total past 200,000. But a true gold maker knows that the biggest fortunes aren't always found in quick flips or lucky drops. Sometimes it's about smart investments, strategic preparation, and leveraging every system the game has to offer, like a calculated dive into the world of professions. Today, Bob's adventures continue as he strategically performs clever profession shuffles and invests a sought-after commodity to increase his skill, maximizing his efficiency and gathering potential. This is the Backpack Millionaire, Episode 7, Bob's Profession Play. When we last left Bob, he had just concluded his Triple Threat Challenge, securing 3 valuable pets and rocketing his gold total past 200,000, with a massive amount still waiting to sell on the auction house. Today, Bob takes a strategic dive into the world of professions, right here in Dornegal. His goal? To implement a meticulously planned profession shuffle designed to unlock his ultimate gathering potential. He is starting by dropping his blacksmithing profession in order to complete a shuffle that will give a huge boost to his gold making. After dropping blacksmithing, his first stop is the enchanting trainer to learn this magical profession. Now, Bob won't keep this profession for long, and we're simply using it in order to gain Artisan's Acuity. This is a highly sought after commodity when it comes to professions, and it helps with many things such as crafting higher quality profession tools, as well as gaining extra knowledge points from vendors. The first challenge is to reach skill level 25 in this new profession, which Bob will start by crafting the enchantment Glimmering Haste. This takes just 5 storm dust and an enchanting vellum per craft, so it's a great cheap option to level up easily. This takes Bob all the way to skill level 23, where he learns a few more recipes and creates one runed bismuth rod to reach level 25. At level 25, the Enchanting Trainer offers Bob a quest. He will need to complete this to continue on the next stage of his epic journey. Luckily, the Enchanting Trainer only wants 20 storm dust, so a quick trip to the auction house and Bob is back handing in the completed quest. For the next stage, Bob needs 2 more items. These are the Powdered Fulgurants and the Crystalline Repository. To find these, he must adventure around the Isle of Dawn looking for dirt piles, which have a chance of dropping these items. Luckily, he's heard about a potion that he can buy for a very low price on the auction house called the Inky Black Potion. This turns the world around him very dark, but means that these elusive dirt piles will be much easier to spot. And with that, Bob has all of the items he needs to continue on the next step in his enchanting shuffle. Now, this is where Bob really needs to invest some of his hard-earned gold. We'll be buying Darkmoon Cards from the auction house, turning them into Darkmoon decks, and then disenchanting them. Now, as we will be buying around 600 of each card, we of course have to consider our 19 bag slots. Luckily, the Darkmoon Cards are stackable, meaning they only take up a total of 8 bag slots. However, this will cause an issue for Bob when turning them all into Darkmoon decks, as each one takes up a precious slot in our bag. But Bob, being ever resourceful, has come up with a clever plan for this, where he will create one deck at a time and disenchant it straight away, meaning he can leave plenty of room for other materials that he may find in the process. On a side note here, as you can imagine, creating over 600 Darkmoon decks and disenchanting them one by one can be a long and tedious process. So, in order to make this process a bit quicker, there's a couple of macros you can use. The first is to create the decks. Now, we're using the Darkmoon Vivacity cards here, so this macro will simply use the item Ace of Vivacity to create the deck. The second macro then casts Disenchant on the newly created Darkmoon deck Vivacity. By placing these on two different keybinds, we can simply sit and press them one after the other. But back to Bob. After the ongoing process of disenchanting all the decks, he now has a lot of shimmering dust to use. So, as before, we create another macro to use this item on a single key press. And after using all of them, we're left with over 600 knowledge points in Enchanting, which Bob won't be using as the item we're after here was the Artisan's Acuity, which we now have an incredible 3015 of. Bob can now unlearn Enchanting and put the materials on the auction house, then move on to the next step in his process. And that is to learn the Herbalism profession. By learning this profession, Bob will now have dual gathering of mining and herbalism, meaning he can streamline his gold making whilst out in the world. To make the most of these professions though, every gold maker must have the right tools. This is where the Artisan's Acuity comes in. Bob heads over to Clerk Gretel, the crafting order's representative, where he can place an order for the highest quality tools and accessories for each of these professions, using the Artisan's Acuity as a currency, along with some other materials that he will purchase from the auction house. It is important though that he makes sure to enchant these tools using the Algari Missive of Finesse. This will really enhance his gathering overall and the amount of gold he can earn per hour. Whilst he's waiting for these tools to be created, it's time for Bob to spend the remainder of his Artisan's Acuity to earn extra knowledge points in his chosen profession. To do this, he heads to Lyrandal, the Artisan's Consortium Quartermaster, who will sell us Herbalist and Miner's Notes in exchange for Artisan's Acuity. We can also buy some more of these from Smack's Top Skimmer at the hotel in Undermine. This will grant Bob a large amount of knowledge points and a real head start on his new gathering journey. The most important nodes to spend these knowledge points on are Mining Fundamentals, as this will allow Bob to mine whilst mounted, and for Herbalism it will be Botany, meaning we can also gather herbs whilst mounted. With all of his knowledge points spent, Bob is now ready to adventure out into the Isle of Dawn and gather as many herbs and ores as he can. Before he heads out on his journey though, it's time for him to check the mailbox and see where we're at so far. Now, Bob has invested a lot of gold in this episode to enhance his future gold making, and has also invested in some items using the auction house flipping methods from episode 1, leaving him with only 108,263. So let's open all of the mail and see our new grand total, which is an incredible 373,590. Now, a lot of this came from one flipping item, where Bob got extremely lucky. He bought the Twilight Blade for just a few thousand gold, and sold it for 200,000. This is absolutely incredible, and a testament to Bob's understanding of the game's economy. Bob is now making great progress on his journey to 1 million gold, and with his newly enhanced professions, is on track to reach his goal in no time at all. If Bob's clever tactics are inspiring your own gold making, then don't miss what's next. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to follow every step of his journey. Next time, we head out into the Isle of Dawn to see if Bob's newly enhanced jewel gathering professions can truly make his gold total soar. Until next time.